let's talk about our next player. We just talked about, kind of a freak athlete. Let's get even freakier. Let's talk about Nicholas Harbor. Nick Harbor. I mean, he's over at South Carolina, and it's like, well, what position he wanted to play? He's playing wide receiver for them. He's playing wide receiver for them. His size, though, he is 6'5", 241 pounds. And you're like, oh, that sounds like, Johnny Wilson. He's 6'7". Johnny Wilson's like about 240 pounds. You're like, oh, okay, so he's a big body guy. Probably doesn't get a lot of separation, whatever. This man at 6'5", 241 pounds, ran a 10-2-8 100-yard or 100-meter dash. That is absurd. That's absurd. He's got great footwork. His dad used to play for the U.S. national soccer team. He's a freak athlete, and it is a shock to me that he did not get used for. I mean, like his comps are like I'm looking at Brian Doan's scouting report from high school. His comp was Kyle Pitts, right? But instead of Kyle Pitts playing tight end, it's just as if Kyle Pitts just played X receiver, you know. So he is absolutely absurd. And what's gonna be interesting, you're not gonna have the same quarterback that you did last year, right? Spencer Rattler, I thought was a very good quarterback. People might disagree with that, but for what he had on the offensive line, I thought he was fantastic. He was making great throws. And it's gonna be very, very different. Very, very, very different. You got Lenore Sellers, who redshirt freshman that I believe that staff is pretty high on, but I haven't seen him play at all. Robbie Ashford's there in that quarterback room. We've seen him play. Not sure if he's going to be the guy that gets Nick Harbor the ball. And then Davis Bevel or Beville. He was a guy at Pitt, if you don't remember, and Oklahoma before that. We've seen him in some limited action. He was not super effective as well. So it's like, what? Who's going to get him the ball? Like you're really hoping that Lenore Sellers picks up the slack. But what's nice too about Nick Harbor is that you got other receivers there that are pretty good. Gage Larverdane coming from Miami, Ohio. He was their most productive receiver there. Very good. Jared Brown. We've talked about several times on the show from Coastal Carolina. Very,
We
very
love
good.
Jared Brown.
Very talented, very athletic receiver. He's probably going to be profiling more as like the slot there. And Larverdame and Huggins Bruce will probably be playing outside receivers with Nick Harbor. But I Nick Harbor, you guys should know who this person is. Even if like they can't find a way to get him the football, like going into the season after this next one, like he's still going to be getting NFL talk, like because he profiles as that kind of guy. You're also no more Xavier Leggett either, so uh,
And Juice Wells.
and
For
Juice
what
Wells.
for what that's worth.
There's catches to go around, so I'll let you talk about him a little bit.
Yeah, Nick Harbor, you're gonna see a trend here with some of these players and predicting breakout guys. Like you look at elite athletes, right? And he is absolutely the picture perfect body of elite athlete. You think about, a creative player, right, in NFL or Madden or even the new NCAA game. This would be him, right? 6'5", 240, built like a DN, which he played in high school. And that was a position like, hey, he's gonna play DN, he's gonna play tight end, or he's gonna play wide receiver. That's a good problem to have. And if you can run like that, you mentioned his footwork, it's fantastic. His hands is getting better. He really started coming on along throughout the season. To me, that's what I love. You build some momentum throughout the season, and obviously you're running track right now. You're doing your thing. You're killing it in the indoor times right now, which is awesome. Staying in good shape. But yeah, come summer and fall camp, I really believe in Nick Harbor to make some strides. I love the wide receivers they're bringing in, but also they're also all transfers. It's a new system, right? And the Norris Sellers guy. Yes, you mentioned the uncertainty there. I happen to like him a lot. We'll see if it happens in year one with him. But regardless, though, I think Nick Harbor is good enough to get the ball right in his hands and let him do things, whether it's on crossing routes and let him get up some speed and go, or double moves, go deep, take the top off a guy, or even anything he can do to get the ball in his hands because he is special, right? You mentioned all those guys gone, Leggett, Juice Wells. Someone has to step up, and I think it'll be Nick Harbor, right? I don't know. I think a breakout season for Nick Harbor, not only is that going to mean massive implications for him in the draft and buzz, right, for 2025, but also, I mean, they struggled offensively last year outside of Xavier Leggett, and And if you bring in some guys like Jared Brown that we like, and Nick Harbor steps up, Raheem Sanders, a running back, Lenore Sellers gets going, that would be awesome. And hey, make no mistake, Shane Beamer, they've had some good years, but last year was a real down year. And it was a real down year. You have to get going, ramp it back up, and start treading in that direction that you were just a year ago.
Yeah, and I believe Nick Harbor can be a very good blocker too, as well. I'm looking more for down to down consistency with that. But like once he gets there, and I know he's got athletic hands, right? He's a receiver, and he also played the end in high school. Like he's got versatile, strong punch hands. If he can just figure that out, like and slow down, because it's different, blocking high school defensive ends than like blocking college cornerbacks. It's a completely different game, right? Or even college linebackers. Once that happens, though, like it feels like he's the kind of guy, if he gets your hands on you, it's absolutely over. It's absolutely over. So I am super excited to see what Nick Harbor can do these next couple years. He's going to explode. If not on the field, because quarterbacks can't get on the ball, it will be up NFL draft boards.